Life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're gonna get.
You were not sure how to play.
I forgot how the quote went, which is the common theme of these quotes.
Welcome back. This is an episode about Andor.
Just before I completely berate Zach for this, as you can see, we've moved about a bit. We now have a giant courier poster behind Zach.
When did that get there?
I don't know. We have Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Apes on the wall. We can talk about this actually a little bit. We'll get into it. And Liu Kang's my side now. Bless him. He didn't like Zach. He's moved.
I didn't get the movie
because
right.
You hit him, yeah. He was like, how could you not know it's Mortal Kombat? I saw Inside Out too.
What's that?
Wait, you don't know what Inside Out 2 is? This is not an episode about Inside Out 2, just for aware. Well, this is an episode about talking about our favourite movies. But I just thought this was an interesting topic to bring up because I realised I haven't. So when I finished watching Inside Out 2, they were giving away these Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes posters. So I figured it'd be nice to snag one and put it on the door with 2 Stranger Things stickers. Inside Out, Disney film.
There's an Inside Out 1?
Yes, it's about the emotions in your head. And they control like a little girl. You have no idea what this is. That's really interesting. Okay. They made a sequel. And
it did well then.
Huh? Yeah! Yeah! I can't believe you've never even heard of it. I'm not sure you've even seen it. I just can't believe you don't know what this is. I didn't really get on with the first one. Like, everyone thought it was quite cool, but it didn't really resonate with me. The second one, I thought it was going to be, a cash grab. I was dragged along. I didn't really go on my own volition. But it was really good, actually. It was actually, I think it surpasses the first one, which was really surprising.
It's about little girls' voices in your head.
Well, she's a teenager now, so now it's about these like new puberty emotions come in. So you've got like anxiety and embarrassment.
I can't contribute much to this.
You can't. I don't want to go too much on a tirade. I just remembered. If you liked Inside Out 1, I'd say check it out. I think it's better. That's not the point of today's discussion. Before we get confused. So we're talking about our top 5 favourite Disney films.
We're meant to talk about Andor.
Yes, so originally, as you could tell last week, if you listened or watched, Zach was meant to watch Andor, and we were going to talk about it. You see, I sacrificed all my time to watch Baby Reindeer, because Zach recommended it, and I recommend him Andor. And what did you watch instead? 3 episodes of The Boys. If you want to hear about that, we have that episode up too.
In my defence, yours was like 6... Baby Rander's like 6 episodes of 30 minutes. Andor was like 10...
8 episodes of 30 minutes.
Andor was like 10 of an hour.
Yes.
And we did it, what, it was a week ago.
All I asked was in a week for you to watch 10 hours of a TV show. Is that too much?
I had a busy week.
To be fair, you watching 10 hours TV show in a week does not sound that insane. You've done way crazier things.
I could have easily have done it.
Yeah.
I chose gaming over it.
What game? FIFA?
Or COD.
COD's a little bit better, but I can't let the FIFA bit go.
I was being with my friend the reindeer.
The reindeer.
The mermaid.
The Little Mermaid.
So yeah, instead we're going to do our top 5 films. Yeah,
we've scrambled to do our top 5 films.
Just so you know what...
Which, now thinking about it, top 5 Disney films would have been interesting to do the Inside Out 2 link, but I'm not sure you've even seen 5 Disney films.
Yeah. But I mean... I think I would have been scraping the barrel after like...
I don't think there'd be much discussion, would it? What's your favourite Disney film?
Lion King.
Oh yeah, that's obvious. What's my favourite Disney film? Probably Lion King. We're not doing Disney films. We're doing top 5 art films of all time.
We'll start with your 5.
Wait, are we just doing one at a time?
Well, I mean, when I said earlier, I was like, we do someone's 5, then we'll do the Who Am I, then we'll do the other person's 5, and you didn't actually question that.
Yes, but what if there's crossover? Which there definitely is crossover.
Why did it just felt like you could have broke up off the air.
I thought it was going to be like, no, I talk about mine, you talk about yours, I talk about mine, you talk about yours. Halfway through game.
What's halfway through 5?
Well, we're going to have to round, aren't we? 2 or 3. 2. break.
And also,
3.
then what order do you put the 5 in? Like which couple do you put first?
5 to 1. Save the best to last.
But I don't know which one of these is my favourite.
Well, that's a you problem.
I ain't got a top 5. I've just got 5.
I have a top 5.
I haven't got an order.
Well, just take one at random. Let's do that. So I'll talk about my number 5 pick, which is
Dun, 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 dun.
The Raid.
Dun, dun,
Redemption.
dun.
Which is the full name of the film, which I forget about. Now, in case you haven't heard of it, Zach, The Raid, the movie you actually got me to watch.
It's about a little girl who had...
It's about a little girl who has emotion. No, it's about an Indonesian man who has emotion in his head, and all the emotions say, kill, kill, kill.
I've heard of that because I told you to watch it.
Correct, yeah. So
I think I said to you, this film's story ain't great, but
the action is incredible.
You will enjoy the action.
And I said, let me see. And I said, you are correct. No, so I've always just crapped on The Raid. Not, massively. But you sort of go, yeah, The Raid has incredible action. Almost unparalleled. But the story is not great. And I rewatched it recently. You know what? The story's good. It's not... There's no insane plot twist. There's no interesting character dynamic. But what it does well. Which, for an action movie, such as certain ones featuring Keanu Reeves, the action's okay and the story is nonsensical. So it's nice to have a serviceable story that makes sense. It doesn't shock you. There's a little bit of like a twisty twist at the end, but it's good. It's got a good premise. You're locked in 100 floors of this apartment block building. You've got a bounty on your head. Anyone that can kill you gets to stay there for free. And it's just chaotic action from floor 1 to floor 99. It's a non-stop ride. And that's good. And my girlfriend actually liked The Raid 1 more than The Raid 2, and this has been a sticking point for us since this. But it's because of that simplicity. It's more fun.
What is a solid film? I like the hallway fight and the 2v1 at the end is... I think the 2v1 at the end is my favourite fight scene. Like
of all time, yeah.
Yeah.
It is good.
At first I thought the second Raid film, the fight at the end, beats that one, but then I think I've rewatched the 2v1, I was like...
No, the 2v1 is special.
That's better.
It's because it's maybe one of the few 2v1s I've ever seen where it doesn't feel like the other person's standing around waiting for his turn to attack.
Yeah.
Because that happens in multiple fights. You always have that... The one person attacks, they fight for a bit, and the other guys in the background be like, wait for it.
I love how normally in the 2v1 you'd have the one has to keep getting like weapons, but it's actually the two that keep getting weapons, and they still just keep getting done.
Mad dog.
But because I thought the second fight, which I presume we're going to talk about that film in a bit anyway.
Of course we are, yes.
I don't like that one of my pet peeves in a fight is when they bring out
bring out the weapon and then
the
get
other
killed by the
person
weapon.
Then suddenly gets powered up, and that's exactly what the geezer got out his little weapon, and
they
then
get powered up and then they eventually take the weapon.
Yeah,
every time, or they get stabbed by their own.
I don't know how bad people are, but they get the weapon. It's like, this weapon will be on that person's hands in a minute.
I want to see examples of a hand-to-hand fight where someone gets a weapon and the person that gets the weapon wins. Because I bet you can't find it. I can't think of one.
Yeah, so you 5th place Raid.
5th place, the Raid one. My thing is, if I were to, it'd be nice to give it a rating out of 10. And based on the Baby Reindeer scale, where I have nothing bad to say, it has to be a 10 out of 10, right?
I did actually pitch before we started this that 10 out of 10s would be like super rare, and...
But surely all of my top 5 is going to be a 10 out of 10.
This is like... These will be high, but yeah.
Because I don't know, can you deduct a point by saying the story's too simple? If the story works and is entertaining, can you deduct that? It does what it needs to do. Do you deduct points for lack of ambition?
See, I
don't know.
I kind of do.
My thing is, can I complain about it? Which is, no, not really.
When I came out of it, I was like, this story's really simple.
But simple's not necessarily bad.
No, it was in my head at that point in time.
So I don't know whether to give the Raid a 10 or do a you thing and give it a 9.5.7.2 out of 10.
You can't be against points and then add them in.
I'm not against points. Raid 1, 10 out of 10. Let's go. 5th place. There may be other things higher up on this that don't get 10 out of 10s, and let's not question it, because my scale is about my heart, not about the brain.
That doesn't make sense.
Welcome to my world. Zach, your 5th place or first pick.
I'm gonna try and rank them as well.
If you dare say The Raid, this is going to be a really boring list.
No, I'm gonna say Gone Girl.
Oh,
in 5th.
Nice. Okay.
Is that in your top 5?
That is my top 5. This is bound to happen. Me and Zach have very similar tastes.
See, I love Gone Girl.
Yeah.
The reason it hasn't gone higher is because I've actually only watched it once.
Oh, okay.
And that's actually not in my head. If I've watched everything else on this list, I've watched everything else at least 2 times, and most of them about 5, 6. So that I've only watched Gone Girl once isn't a great. But I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I mean that's solid.
Yeah,
I think if you're not drawn to watch it more than any other thing on your list, then it should be the bottom, right? That is the natural thing. I really liked Gone Girl when we first watched it, but I wouldn't have put it in top 5. It was upon watching it the second or third time I saw the extra layers, and it solidified that.
Yeah.
I loved. Oh, this is your pick. I'll get to talk about Gone Girl in a bit, Wink. You tell me about Gone Girl.
I was interested to
see we gotta wait. We gotta wait.
But like I said, I actually don't remember it that well now. So like, even though I know it's in my top 5, my best memory of it is that it's in the cinema, those old women in front of us.
Well, that was not what I expected.
that was just peak. I just loved the twists and turns in it. I very much enjoyed it.
If I were to put a review of Gone Girl on the poster, it would be, that was not what I expected. Old lady from cinema. I hope you're doing okay, old lady from cinema, who definitely thought this was a cute little murder mystery.
But no, I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. But the acting, as far as I remember, the acting was phenomenal. The story was phenomenal. The twist was phenomenal. Like, it was a bit crazy because apparently I need it to be a bit not normal is what I like.
I would like to talk about my number 4 pick, Gone Girl.
At least you've watched it a couple of times. You actually might have to be able to add it some.
Yeah, I think I was going to say I watch it once a year, but that would mean I've watched it 10 times. If that's your.
I mean, I don't actually know exactly.
It was 2015.
Oh, okay.
So it was the same. That was the same year as Fury Road.
Hey.
Wow. Crazy. They're a good year. So it turns out, no, it could have been 2016. Yeah. Must have been 2015. Or even 2014. It's been almost 10 years. I love that all the promotions, all the trailers didn't give it away.
Oh, yeah.
There was enough, like, because I remember, it was kind of a bad thing. I remember watching the trailer and being like, no, I didn't care about it. Because it was this murder mystery, pretty bland. There was nothing special about it. And it was upon, I was just hearing in the grapevine, this is more than it seems, but I didn't get enough. Somehow I heard that it wasn't what was being portrayed, but it didn't get spoiled for me.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, we need to check this out. This is weird. Let's see. And it does start very to the letter and then just has that shift.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Gone Girl. You've had 9 years. And it's cool that she is completely in control and he's the victim. And that's obviously it's portrayed the other way around when it starts. And you just don't know. At no point during this film did I sit there and go, I know what's happening next. I didn't know. It just kept going.
There's not many films like that.
Things just kept changing. Yeah, it kept me guessing at every turn. And like I said, the acting was phenomenal. The cinematography was great. I've got nothing bad to say about it. This is very close to The Raid, but I think the reason it beats out The Raid for me is because the story is really good.
Yeah.
The Raid is the simple story. This story is far from simple.
Yeah, but obviously mine was. I mean, I was going to give it higher than a 9, but and I'll probably higher up this list. But it's the only thing is that I've watched it once. Is the thing that I've put it to like.
No, that makes sense.
Why I've only watched it once.
I think there's got to be a reason, right? And so maybe it's because it's a bit heavy.
So it's 5th.
Because there's also. one of my higher
I
picks.
might watch it tonight.
No, watch Andor.
Oh, watch it tonight.
No! I was really hoping your Gone Girl pick wasn't going to be close to mine, if it was on your list at all.
I mean, it was gonna.
I'm worried about my number 1 pick, which is definitely on your list. Let's see when it comes up. Zach, what's your number 4 pick?
I think it's coming up now.
Oh, don't say it.
It's the Raid 4.
The Raid 4? I've missed 2 Raid movies!
It came out with Inside, but...
What? I watched Inside Out 2?
Yeah.
And not the Raid 4?
Not the Raid 3. The Raid 2 is 4th. Which feels a tad harsh, but...
I'm very slighted by this. Please, talk your mind.
Which I feel like we've just uncovered Sean's number 1. No, I just put the other 3 a little bit higher, that's all.
Why?
Because they do.
Why? Why would you do this to my boy?
Even though one of the films above it, I've only watched once, and I've watched this about 5 times.
Wait, but Gone Girl goes lower.
Don't want to talk about that. You do not question my reasoning.
Yeah, if you don't. Oh, sorry, I didn't give Gone Girl a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Yeah, of course it is. Everything in this list is going to be 10 out of 10.
So this is going to be what Sean doesn't give 10 out of 10 in the show.
There is a chance one of my top 5 won't be a 10 out of 10.
That'd
I'm
be
not
funny.
sure.
If it's 1, that'd be even better.
Definitely not. That's a 10 out of 10.
5 to 2 is 10 out of 10,
out of
and then
10.
the other one's 9.9.
Why is the Raid 2 so low?
I wouldn't say 4th is low. I've watched a lot of films.
Ain't number 1, is it?
Yeah, but you're saying it like I've watched 5 films and it's 4th. Like I've watched a lot of films.
Well, watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes be number 1.
Oh, well, actually,
No, you don't have any ape films on your top 5, do you? Wow.
they're in honourable mentions. They wasn't, but they are now.
So
I'm sorry.
The Raid 2.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic.
But what stops it being higher? What's stopping the Raid 2 from climbing the lofty peaks of Mount Zach's top 5?
I mean, I feel like the stories, obviously, I prefer that to the 1, but
Definitely an upgrade, yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. The story kind of puts it to a kind of a they couldn't go any further up the list, and then also you've got like a couple of things like that fight that just I don't know why my mind can't get over the why they had to put the weapon in. Kind of, it's really one-sided, that 1v1. Like a lot more one-sided. The first time I watched it, I was like, what a 1v1, and then when I look back on it, it was really one-sided. Like Rama kind of f***ed him up.
It's true.
The ending was such a cliffhanger as well, and that he's not going back to it.
I never say never. There is a chance.
He said never. Like I swear he said this.
He said it's very unlikely.
But if it's very unlikely, then that's a shit ending.
Mm.
So that has to then it can't be higher up because that's a cliffhanger. You can't end a film like that.
I agree with all of your points. And we will get into the fact this is my number 1 pick in a little bit.
9 out of 10.
It's not like how you ranted that much, and it's like 9 out of 10. That's why you said less about Kingdom of the Apes.
So it's your 3rd.
I don't think I think it's the only movie on my list you haven't seen, which is The Thing.
I haven't seen it, yeah.
The Thing. It's not only my favourite horror film of all time, but obviously
I don't think that's a
it's
big
my top
statement,
3.
though, is it?
Not really. I have a low opinion of horror
Yeah.
films, but it's my The Thing scared the absolute hell out of me when I saw it as a child that was far too young to be watching The Thing. This concept, because The Thing isn't really a jumpy film. It is a more of a psychological horror where the concept is this alien can kill your friends and become it. So you, Zach, could be the alien sitting across me and I have no idea. And so there's a bunch of people that are in like an Arctic research outpost. So they're trapped away from everywhere. There's nowhere to run. It's just ice around them. So they have no choice but to fight. But the problem is, how do you fight when you don't know which one of you in the room? You're like, I know one of you is this alien, but who is it? And that freaked me out because you're just like, as this kid with an overactive imagination, you're thinking, are the people around me the people I think they are? Or are they some alien that wants to eat me?
What was he? Did he act like them then?
Yeah, completely could suit their personality.
Ah.
And every time I watch it, I don't expect it to be as good as I remember it. You know, you got like
Yeah.
this nostalgia thing. Every time it's better than I expect it to be. Because it's not that horror film. It's not dark corridors and like oogie boogie. You know, it's more like one person in here is an alien that's going to kill the rest. And the fact that I've just talked like uninterrupted. 10 out of 10.
Sean approved.
Approved. Number 3. That's one thing has to be number 3.
I'm intrigued why it's not higher.
Well,
see, I
we'll
can't
see.
put much input because I haven't watched it, which I guess I should, but I mean, you spoil it for me now, so
I have.
yeah.
I don't really like horror films, though. I think you'd enjoy it, though.
I
But
don't like horror films because they're predictable, but
yeah, and this is far from it.
yeah.
I think the issue these days is like it's really slow of a movie, but I like that. People don't. Cass, who'll be on next week's show,
Who's Cass?
he did not like The Thing.
I wonder what your 5 to 10 is. I wonder if they'll all get 10 out of 10s.
5 to 10.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
top
No,
5 to
definitely
10.
not. Definitely not.
No one's ever done that before. Here's my 10 to 5.
All right, Zach. Sorry, I went on for a while. Tell me your third.
Due to the fact that I've watched the other two way more, I'm gonna put this one third, and that is The Last Duel,
Okay.
because I've only watched that once. Not that I wouldn't watch it again. Obviously, it's just you come out of it and you're like, oh my god, that was a depressing film. I'm really gutted that it didn't do better, because that is such a good film, and it did so badly. Like, it just doesn't give much hope sometimes for cinema, where you get like a original.
Say it's original. It wasn't original.
Well, you get like a
Based on a historical event.
you get like an actual like.
It's not a franchise.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's not like a franchise. It's not like a superhero movie. Nothing hanging on it. And every actor in there
Smashed
loved it. Like they all love being in. They all say like, this is one of my favourite things we've done. But yeah, the acting in it was incredible. I love. If anyone hasn't watched it, it's like, I would recommend, but it's like, does it in like 3 parts, don't it? And you watch the story from 3 different people.
From 3 different perspectives, 3 different truths. I think you've given me pause, because The Last Duel is my number 2. But I actually think I respect The Thing more. I think because it was newer and fresher, I've rated it higher.
Oh, are you having a second?
I think The Thing is going to become The Last Duel and take over its position.
The alien went into
the Alien is the Last Duel now. So we'll skip ahead.
So we know you're 2 and 1.
So my third is The Last Duel, so we could talk about this
Yeah.
both being third, and then I can't really talk about second place because that is The Thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I thought this is good because now we can talk.
Yeah,
I
I
don't have
mean,
to hold back. We can talk about both sides. The
obviously,
truth
'cause, like,
according to Zach.
Matt Damon, like, obviously in the first act, you see him and he's like
He's this stoic,
he's this
heroic hero.
And then you're like, oh, he's pretty cool. And then you see him in the second story and he's a little child, a little baby. And you're like, that was really cool. I liked how they did that.
Yeah.
And like, obviously the subtle changes from each story.
It was so compelling and so powerful.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the right time to release it because this is a historical movie, but it kind of is on these modern takes of fake news and he said, she said. One thing I was worried for the movie was that it sets up The Last Duel. The whole point of the movie is they're going to fight at the end.
Yeah, and you wanted the last.
And I was like, this fight is going to suck.
It had to hold up.
But Ridley Scott knew this, and that fight is good.
Yeah.
That is a good fight. And it's not like, I not only appreciate it because it was well choreographed, but also it wasn't too fantasy sword fight. It was quite grounded.
Yeah. No, I wasn't literally about to say like that last duel was I was thinking this has to be good. But
Yeah. If it wasn't, that would be like that would lose 2 points.
Yeah.
Like, that fight at the end wasn't great. That would be like 8 out of 10.
But no, not many people. Like, I wouldn't. That's one of the only films that I hadn't really heard about, and you told me.
Yeah.
But
it was, sword fighting, so it caught my eye. And I saw it in the cinema. I was like one of 10 people. Seriously, do you know how many people are in the cinema? So when we watched The Raid 2, which is this Indonesian film
it's like
that's really niche.
8-ish people were in there.
Yeah. There were, including myself, there were 4 people watching The Last Duel when I went to see it. And it wasn't like day one, but still,
9 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I don't think it holds up to The Thing. Based on the fact that we're both talking about it, and that is less than I think I spent time talking about The Thing. I really like The Thing. Is The Thing going to make it to number one? Let's find out.
How are you like? Most people have their like set before. You're like
the number one is set as The Raid. I'm going to say something crazy when we get to it.
I'll love if like your top 5 is on the screen right now and it just.
I'm going to do it. The thing's going to sprout little tentacles and take the last jewel and bring it down.
No, well, actually, I'm going to. The last jewel's 9.2.
I hate you so much. 10 out of 10.
I think it deserves to be just a little bit above the other two.
I've only watched The Last Duel twice. Because it's hard to watch.
I've watched it once.
And my complaint about the whole, because it does feel like 3 hours. But that doesn't feel like a bad thing for this one. Because it is harrowing. It's not meant to be a fun film.
Yeah.
I like to rate movies based how often I'd like to watch them at any given time. Now, number one, I would watch any day of the week, whenever, for funsies. The Last Duel, I can't do that with. The Thing, I could. And that's why I think The Thing has to take the space.
That's why I put Last Duel third. You see, while I've been doing this, looking at my list, it keeps changing between these two.
Why don't you just say The Thing?
The Thing. I've never watched it, but it's 10 out of 10.
You look at your list and it just says The Thing. You're like, what the fuck? How has this happened?
How has the alien done that?
I thought my number 2 was The Courier, but it is in fact The Thing.
I'm going to say lucky number 7.
That is a good pick.
Which...
That is a very interesting pick.
Not a lot of people... I don't know how well that film is known.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone talk about Lucky Number 7 but you.
Yeah, I mean, my mum showed it to me, and like, I just love it. It's just such a good film. Like when it was in its day and age, because I think was when I showed you it. I mean, there's a bit of a plot twist in it, but I think it was quite predictable when you watched it.
I saw it coming, yeah.
Whereas back when it was actually made in the 1990s, like it actually that films didn't really do that. So I feel that in its time, that was quite a unique like plot twist. Whereas when I showed you, I was like, yeah, you're going to see that coming, but it doesn't ruin the film.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, the cast is incredible. The lead is incredible. The dialogue is so unique.
That's what I want to talk about.
I love the dialogue.
And the style is so snappy. As a writer, I look at that and go, can I do that? But I don't know. It takes a certain something to have something so... Because the dialogue and the cinematography and the editing, to me, kind of all flow into one picture where it is this very unique style that's snappy and witty and so clever.
Yeah.
But not clever like, oh, there's brainy clever, but just like showy.
Yeah, obviously like the storyline. I do because like, it's all like muddled up, and you don't know, and then you don't know who's done what to who, and then I don't know if they should have showed the first bit first. I don't know whether that obviously.
I think that's what clued me in.
Yeah. I don't know whether they should have like missed that out, but I just the whole package. So I don't really have anything negative to say about that film. Like. Yeah, there's so many like. I think the whole time watching them, I was just like smiling. Like, the pacing, no complaints. The editing, I like that you just great film.
See, I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10.
Huh?
I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10.
I never said I have. I'll say 9.5.
Boy, just give it a 10.
No.
But you just said it's perfect.
Yeah, I have no complaints. The plot twist might have been a little bit obvious. That's the only...
It shocked you when you watched it.
Yeah, the first time I watched
Therefore, it doesn't matter. It's what you
young.
think. Since you've seen it, surely you know.
Fine! I'll give it a Zach-approved 10.
Yeah!
That's the first thing.
Yeah!
Well, let's go... let's keep the tension going for what our number ones are, because we definitely don't know what yours is.
Yeah.
And let's go to some honourable mentions to the top 5.
I would like to place another horror film in my honourable mention.
Is it 10 out of 10?
It's not.
No.
If it was 10 out of 10, it probably would be in the top 5. Halloween, 2013.
That's another one I haven't watched. Isn't that the one with the really cool one shot?
With the one shot, yeah.
I've seen that. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It is easily the best Halloween film. But that was a film, upon watching it, I rated less. Like, rewatching it again and again.
Oh, okay.
It stunned me when I watched it in the cinema. I thought, this is brilliant. I did like how it's... the titling annoys me. It's just called Halloween. But it's a sequel to the movie Halloween. So it should be called Halloween 2, because it's a direct sequel. But there's also another movie called Halloween 2. But this disregards Halloween 2. So this is a retcon of Halloween 2.
I also do that for Dexter Season 7.
Yeah, but this is... Why call it Halloween?
Yeah.
So Halloween is the sequel to Halloween. Deal with that. And it does its own new trilogy, but it's actually not a trilogy because it's still a sequel to Halloween, so therefore it's 4 films. Please don't pay attention to this too much. This is confusing. Laurie, this character who's been attacked by Michael Myers exactly once, has now spent a whole life obsessing about him. Like, I know he's going to come back. Which doesn't really make sense because she was attacked just once. We're told that she stopped her whole life just preparing for the moment he's going to come back, but also she had a husband and kids and lived her life without it. These two things don't really make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're too obsessive that you forgot to live, also you have a children and family.
I might have to watch this Halloween.
You should, it's good.
Yeah.
It's not fantastic. It's an 8 out of 10.
So your lowest ever mark.
No, that's not good. No, that's the highest, actually. That wasn't a 10.
I wasn't going to mark the honourable mentions, to be fair.
I just figured we're doing it. And I wanted to say something wasn't a 10 out of 10.
I wasn't sure whether we should go into too much detail with the honourable mentions. But...
Sorry, I just want to talk about Halloween. I liked it. But that's it. That's why honourable mention, so close to the top 5, but doesn't quite make it.
Is that your only honourable mention?
Yeah, it's probably in top 10.
I see, I've got 4.
Are they all Planet of the Apes movies?
I had 3, but I thought my little buddy here needs a some mention. Maybe not that buddy, but like the original films do need an honourable mention. I did really enjoy them. We have talked about that, so I won't go into too much detail. But yeah, they deserve an honourable mention.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go too much into Planet of the Apes because we're aware that we like them.
Another one that deserves an honourable mention: Lord of the Blind Citizen.
We do like Lord of the Blind Citizen.
That's a good film.
Yeah.
It was at one point in my top 5. It's not anymore, but I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Other things. That's another one where the first time I watched it, I was like, "This is great," and then I watched it, and there's a few things that don't quite line up and make sense. But it's such a fun story.
Yeah.
And it keeps you guessing. You don't know where it's going to end, and it's one you want to watch a lot.
Yeah, I've watched it quite a few times, so that is an honourable mention. But another one, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
They're solid.
I love that film. Another one, though, honourable mention that might throw you off. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Oh, yeah.
Superhero movie wise, every time it's just fun.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that film. It's so fun, and again, I think the main character's dialogue in that, he's very snappy and just like
bread makes you fat.
I just love how he just treats it like a video game as well. There's not many complaints about that film.
That film is so charming.
I think if that came out 10 years in the future, I think that would have done 20 times better. That's the end of my honourable mentions.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that I only had the one, but I went into as much detail as the one as you did.
Oh, I feel like they don't deserve too much.
They don't. You did it well. I think if you only got one.
And obviously we talked about the apes.
We don't need to go into the apes.
I feel like as we know your number one, I mean, you've gone before me anyway, but we should probably go to you first.
Number 1 pick.
Oh.
Obviously. Not even the hype up. It's the Raid 2. And I have an issue with the Raid 2. Because everything you said about it is true. And I agree with. The story is engaging and it's solid and it's a lot more complicated than its original film than the Raid 1. And that gives it big points for me. Because the action is as good as the Raid 1. There's just one problem with the action sequences in the Raid 2. And it's the fact that they don't have to exist. And when you think about this, it does have a hamper on the movie. Because in the Raid 1, they are stuck in a hallway with nowhere to go. They have to fight. In the Raid 2, the action scenes feel way more forced. You have to set this up. You had the thing when the assassin beats up Rama earlier on, and then when they fight one-on-one after another fight, he's good because that's the way it has to go.
Yeah.
It's forced. And while the fight is a masterpiece choreography, you know, he gets the weapons out, Rama takes one of the weapons, they have a weapon fight, and then he gets to go buy his own weapons. As it happens in every movie, you know? No, and the Raid can escape this. I think the quality of the action is higher in the Raid 2, in general. But, in terms of, like, this the thing, the story in the Raid 2 is better than the Raid 1. The quality of the action of the Raid 2 is better than the Raid 1. But the reason for the fights happening, therefore the story of the fights is better than the Raid 1. And so it is this difficult thing where you go, is it a better or worse film than the original one? It does branch out. You've got things like that. I mean, I still think not only has it got one of the best action like fight scenes in cinema history, potentially, which is I really like Hammer Girl baseball bat versus Rama because that's just cool. And it's a 2v1 fight where they both aren't waiting to fight, and they've also got weapons.
I do feel like Rama felt in control.
He always feels the whole film is in control.
Well, he's not in Raid 1.
Well, the whole film's in control except when he's not in control, and then he's pathetic. But he's not in the Raid 1, no. And that's what makes the fights in the Raid 1 more compelling. I can't give something a 10 out of 10 if I have bad things to say about it. And this isn't like the Raid 1 where it's just, it doesn't reach its potential. It could be a bit more. This has issues. Therefore, it's a 9 out of 10, yet it's number 1 for the singular reason that out of every other film in this list, I would watch this over it.
I guess that's a good reason to have it 1.
The Raid 2 is not Sean approved, but it is Sean loved. And that's
how you managed to twist that.
And that's why my number 1 movie is the only one of my top 5 that is not a 10 out of 10. It's about here. The top 10 shouldn't be films I think are best. It's films I like the most. Thank you for hearing me out, Zach.
For my number 1.
Your number 1.
I was going to say, I was just want to make, do you know it?
I'm pretty sure I know it, yeah. And I'm surprised it's number 1 of all of these. Because I think Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is better, I think.
It's not even in your honourables.
I know. Well, I know.
At least I brought it up.
Look, like you have a soft spot for Guy Ritchie. Apparently, I have a soft spot for John Carpenter. So staying on the Guy Ritchie bandwagon,
yes,
I'm gonna presume it's the film that inspired a recent TV show of the same name, and it is The Gentleman.
Yes.
So I'm curious about this because I thought The Gentleman was great and it was fun. And it was definitely Guy Ritchie back on form, but it's better than like Lock, Stock.
See, they're close. You see, Lock, Stock could be in there with The Gentleman, but I don't like too many of the same kind of films in my top 5.
Okay.
I like to have a bit of
variety.
So like I could have I'd probably watch Lock, Stock over Gone Girl. The way that he tells the story is very, very unique. I love how he does it. About how obviously, what's his name? What's the actor's name?
Charlie Hunnam?
No, the other one.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, that's him. I didn't know he was capable of this. He's in like rom-coms. I don't know where this came from. Again, the only true criticism I think I've seen a lot of the people when they've watched it is that our lead characters have they're like kind of very clueless of who's started their first domino, and I think everyone watching it knows exactly what. So they knows exactly who started the first domino. Because as soon as you showed someone where your farm was, randomly someone found it. It's quite obvious where that came from, but it doesn't ruin. To me, it doesn't ruin the film. But I mean, they kind of made that a big plot twist at the end, which
that didn't land.
Yeah, everyone knew. I'd watch that film so many times. I love it. And I feel like you can see my glee in my face when I was talking about it.
This is the most animated you've been talking about the films.
Yeah. So
it's nice when we don't share one on the list, so we get a spotlight.
10 out of 10. It's number 1.
It's good to hear. That is an unusual pick.
That's our top 5s.
Good.
And I guess we'll end it on the bad synopsis.
Yeah. Let's move on to the bad synopsis game. This is a long episode. next week we have our friend Cass
We
coming.
have a guest,
We have a guest.
which means I've got 2 weeks to watch Andor.
Yeah, your time frame is extended now.
Let's watch me mess it up.
We are going to talk about video games that should be adapted to film or TV shows, based on the recent Fallout TV show. You said Mortal Kombat. No. There should not be Mortal Kombat movies or TV shows. It's not a strong enough premise, I think, to do that. At least make it good fight scenes. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And they haven't managed that once. But yeah, thank you very much for watching.
Goodbye.
Please like, subscribe, follow on the platform you're watching it on, and we will see you next week on Filmdefib.
Yes.
This t-shirt isn't meant to represent the people around me. This is Scar talking about me. Now, I should have done the Scar thing while wearing this t-shirt. That would have been hilarious.